following is a presentation of 4-Star Sports Media.
Welcome to the Sidecar Cafe Arena for the Falls Count Anywhere show. Now, let's take you to ringside with Zach ZK Kerr, Marcus MC Carlton, and Brandon Bumgarner on the 4-Star Sports Radio Network. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ringside. I am your host for the evening, wrong show. I am Zach ZK Kerr, and I just came off vacation. I'm sorry. I got to knock the rust off a little bit. This is my first show back in about a week. But joined as always here at Ringside with my buddy MC, and filling in temporarily, joining as a special guest, is the head honcho, Wes Pruitt. He is the head honcho of 4-Star Sports Media, LLC, I might add. And let me see if I can get good old Bum in here. Bum, you with me, buddy?
Yeah, I'm having technical issues, so I might bounce in and out every once in a while.
You always are, buddy. The lights are on, but nobody's home. I'm sorry. Just kidding. Love you, buddy. Man, I tell you, make sure you guys like, share, follow, subscribe, and whatever else button you got to use in order to keep up with us here at 4-Star Sports Media. We've got huge, as a certain guy said, huge stuff going on here at 4-Star Sports Media. We've got articles coming out over off of our 4star.live. We've got new stuff we're covering. We're covering the Memphis Redbirds. We're covering the Arkansas Travelers. We are officially, since this is a wrestling show, guys, I can actually say this. We are all elite. That is right. 4-Star Sports Media is your home for all things AEW officially now. So make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, and follow, and tweet, and Twitter, and all that other stuff that you got to do. But, gentlemen, we're going to jump right into this and kick it off with the WWE and Friday Night SmackDown, followed by the WWE Hall of Fame. I did not catch SmackDown because, of course, I was on vacation. But, Bum, was there anything? I saw your notes on it. Was there anything exciting that happened on SmackDown, or was it just, Monday Night Raw Part 2?
It was basically Raw Part 2. There wasn't a huge build-up. I feel like it could have been better going into Mania. But it wasn't terrible. I mean, it was a pretty average show. It was decent going into Mania, but it wasn't like the greatest show of all time.
It wasn't like the last couple of years where minus the COVID year, the pandemic year, it wasn't the home run, go home show that we're used to, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I figured. MC, did you catch it at all? I know you had a other priority stepping in for me let the Minions play.
Well, I did catch it. I DVR'd it and, kind of fast forwarded through it and caught the highlights here and there. And I agree with Bum. It was okay. I'm pretty picky when it comes to the go home shows. I mean, especially for WrestleMania, any go home show for the big four, I expect it to really deliver. And it was okay. I'd give it, probably a C+, B-, maybe if I'm feeling generous.
All right. Wes, did you see it?
Yes, I did. And, not all of us were on vacation. Yeah, we actually watched the wrestling over the weekend. But
did he just take a dig at me?
Yeah, it was completely.
Okay.
Yes, 110%. But
Hey, careful, Zach. You're dealing with the head of the table.
Acknowledge me.
Acknowledge me. Really is what the shirt is. I should be wearing that shirt, not you. Anyway, and then okay, just not to go off the rail real quick, but when did you?
That's how we do it here at Ringside, baby. Come on.
So you're known as CK now? Is that what it is?
ZK. I have many names, Wes.
Oh, ZK.
I have many names.
Okay, I got you.
Some we can't say on here.
We know. We've called you a few. Zach, back to SmackDown, man. I agree with when it comes to the go home shows for any of the big four, I'm very picky. It has to deliver. It has to, no pun intended, but hit home. When you do it, Pat McAfee, since we're talking about SmackDown, Pat McAfee is, and I know we'll talk about him more at Mania, but that man on commentary makes SmackDown enjoyable to watch. He really does.
Yeah, I've become a big Pat McAfee fan over the past few weeks, and then leading up to WrestleMania, and then what he did at WrestleMania on top of that, which we'll get into that later. But I'm all in for the brand now, man. He's got me hooked. I'm in.
I watch the Pat McAfee show every single day. I love it. Watch it today.
He called me the other morning. Bum called me the other morning. And we were sitting there talking, or I think it was in the afternoon, but he goes, hey, I hate to cut this short, but I got to go. Pat McAfee's on. Later, dude. So when Bum says he religiously watches it, he watches it religiously. But guys, I want to jump ahead to the Hall of Fame. And this year, there wasn't as many Hall of Fame inductees as there have been in the past. You had the Steiner brothers, Scott and Rick. You had Vader. And you had Queen Sharmell, and then headlining it was my guy. I've watched him since I was a kid. I remember his days as Big Texas Red, The Undertaker. And not to have a shameless plug, but I do have a TikTok where I did a mock introduction of The Undertaker and Edge. So at Razorback Zach 1, if you guys want to go see it on Twitter or on TikTok. So, what did you guys think of no comment, Wes. No comment. What did you guys think? I mean, you had Vader's family there, and of course, who won the Warrior Award?
Shad
Gaspard. Thank you. Can't leave him out.
You just called the Warrior Honor Award?
No, there's two awards that they used to give out. One of them was the Connor's Cure show that they did, and I got it mixed up. So
no, you're wrong.
Am I?
They gave Connor the Warrior Award.
That's right. So anyway, it is the Warrior. Yeah. It's the Warrior Award, named after the one, the only Ultimate Warrior. See, I can get it straight. Y'all, can you give me a break? I gotta knock the rust off. I've been gone for a while.
Watch wrestling, we get it.
I do too. Dead gummit.
It's okay. Yeah. Dana Ward,
nobody
is Ultimate's wife, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I enjoyed that segment.
Zach, and
yeah,
I love that award.
I do too.
It seems like it always goes to somebody that's very fitting, and for it go to Shad Gaspard this year, in my opinion, man, they could go and rename it the Gaspard Hero Award, because as a dad myself, man, what he did, the ultimate sacrifice for his kid, you weren't going to find anybody affiliated with wrestling that was going to be more deserving to win that than he was.
No, absolutely
It was just, it was fitting, and I thought his widow gave a great speech, and I like the fact that, here and there, when there was an applause break, she would kind of, look over at their son and kind of, hey, you okay, bub? You okay? Because I know he had to be kind of struggling to hold that together. I mean, he's 10, 11, 12 years old, something like that. So,
yeah.
I mean, that had to be wild for him to be in that situation. And then you're talking about this, your dad saving your life and giving his up in the process. I mean, his emotions had to be all over the place.
Well, MC, you and I are the fathers of the room. That's what a father does. I mean, you can anybody who's a father would know that's what we do. Not to take anything away from Wes and Bum by any stretch of the imagination, but like I said, the headline of the night was Undertaker, and he gave.
It was not Undertaker.
No, that was Mark Calloway. That was Mark Calloway. However, that was one of the more unorthodox but best, and I mean best, Hall of Fame speeches I have ever heard.
My man walked into the ring as the Undertaker and then gave a TED talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I think I texted Zach or somebody and said, and I simply said, hey, if Taker wants a career as a motivational speaker, he can definitely take it from here and go, because that man, he did not miss. I mean, it's just like the majority of his matches for his career, he did not miss. I mean, it was on point. It was entertaining. It was long, but I never drifted. He had my attention the whole time.
Yeah, the only problem I had was he did not mention Mick Foley.
I didn't catch that, but that's a good catch there.
Their matches define, and I'm going to go ahead and say they defined an era.
Yeah, Mick going off the cage. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how many times have we seen that replayed as a GIF on Twitter?
I don't know that I necessarily fully agree with that. Oh, true. But, I mean, they had the one match from King of the Ring.
There were several matches that him and Mick Foley had. Several. The Hell in the Cell match is the most famous, though.
No, but I'm saying that's what I'm saying. I mean, they had the one iconic match, but I mean, I think when you go back and look at The Undertaker, you got to look at his rivalry with Kane. Is really what set that era apart from any others.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that storyline with Kane, Mark Calloway himself has said it. It's the best story ever told in wrestling.
Yeah. But
speaking of the go ahead.
One of the few notes that I took from the Hall of Fame speech, and I was able to catch it while I was on vacation, because I was not going to miss my boy getting inducted. He gave out his 3 rules that he lives by. And I've kind of adopted that, and I'm trying to talk Wes and Bum into using that here at 4-Star Sports Media. But the 3 rules are: perception is reality, loyalty and respect go a long way, and number 3 is one that I live by almost every day: never, ever, under any circumstances, be content. You guys agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, how can you not agree with it? I mean, that's why he got to where he is because of those 3 things, especially that last one. He could have been content and honestly hung it up 10, 12 years ago and still have the same legacy, but he kept pushing and trying to get more and trying to give more back to the business that gave him, the life that he has. And it's just, that ties back into the type of respect and loyalty that he had, not only for the business, but specifically for Vince McMahon. Yeah,
absolutely. Bum, you're kind of quiet, buddy. What are your thoughts?
No, I think it was great, man. So the thing about that is a lot of people tuned in to hear what he had to say about his wrestling career. And you didn't just get that. You got a honest, just way that you should live your life. And that was really inspiring to hear. And not only those 3 points, but the way he just talked about the people who affected him in the business, all the way from Kane to Godfather to Shawn Michaels to everybody he mentioned.
He finally came out, Bum, and admitted that the match he had at WrestleMania 25 with Shawn Michaels was one of the best, if not the best, of his career.
Well, yeah, because everybody thought he was washed. Like, a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people thought he was washed, and so was Shawn. And they couldn't put on that type of show, and they absolutely still could, and they still. I mean, I think both of those guys could get in the ring to this day and still put on a show.
They tried that at Crown Jewel, and it didn't go very well.
Also, it was in Saudi Arabia, and that crowd those crowds aren't wrestling crowds.
I agree.
What are some of the other points from some of the other inductees that stuck out to you guys? And I forgot to mention one, by the way, Queen Charmel, or Charmin, or Charmel.
She did. I think that Charmel's speech was exactly. I think when you look at speeches, how intricately, she enunciated that speech beautifully. You could tell, you could really see how much time and effort and thought she put into that. How much that this getting inducted into the Hall of Fame off of what, a year, maybe 2-year real career in WWE, that's saying something. I mean, you go back and look at her and the Boogeyman. I mean, until I saw it last Friday night, I had kind of forgot about that. That put her on a whole nother map. I mean, Boogeyman put her over. Boogeyman put her over so hard. Boogeyman. Yes, I mean, and then the respect that it's not. She said in her speech, it's how she was giving back to an industry that never had to give anything to her, and they did.
True. And the argument most that I saw leading up to the Hall of Fame that week, or even after she was announced that she was being inducted, was what has she done that was Hall of Fame worthy?
I think that's a fair question. I mean, she, because she was not an in-ring performer, she was basically a valet. But, she had a big impact on Booker's career. And then, like you guys pointed out, the little rivalry she had with the Boogeyman was just, that was some good stuff.
Bum, what are your thoughts?
I think so. I don't really know what she has absolutely done in the business as far as
oh, Bum, come on,
no offense, no offense to her.
Did we lose Bum?
I think Charmel got a hold of his internet.
I was just fixing to say, Charmel got a hold of his internet connection. We're going to try to bring him back here in just a minute. But guys,
Zach, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
I was just going to say on Charmel, like I said, that 2-year stretch, MC's exactly right. She put Booker T, when he was King Booker, she put that character on that next level. Without her, there would be no King Booker at the height of what he was.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And I think there are some people that have gotten in to the Hall of Fame that have done less than she has. I don't think she's the least deserving person that's in.
Yeah. That's an argument for another time. Okay, so I want to move into the first night of WrestleMania. Oops, not that one. That one. And get your thought, kind of go round robin and get thoughts, opinions, and reactions as far as the match card that night. Who stole the show, who brought it, and who kind of stunk the joint up, So I'm gonna go ahead and say it now, just for nostalgia reasons. The KO show closing out the show, Stone Cold after 19 years having a sanctioned match and just completely whooping ass is the show stop right there. That was the highlight right there. Next to Cody Rhodes debuting. Did he debut Saturday night or Sunday night?
Yes.
Yeah, he's Saturday night. So those two right there are probably going to be my two highlights right there. MC, what'd you think?
Definitely Stone Cold. I mean, I was in college during the majority of the Attitude Era, so seeing Stone Cold go out there, and I know I'm not the only one that felt this way, but when he come out, I thought, okay, he's going to come out, he's going to throw a couple stunners, he's going to drink a lot of beer, and then that's going to be the end of it. But he come out, he gave a full-blown Falls Count Anywhere, no holds barred match, and every bump he took out away from the ring, I was cringing like it was my grandpa in there taking those bumps because with the bad neck and the bad back and everything. I mean, it's just one wrong move and it could have been curtains for him. And that goes to kind of show what kind of trust not only Stone Cold but the entire company has in Kevin Owens to make sure that everything went the way it was supposed to go in that match. That was, to me, that was the top thing of the night. The worst kept secret in pro wrestling, Cody Rhodes debuting. It was cool. It lived up to the hype. I thought he and Seth had a great match. The stinker of the night for me, and this is just a personal thing with me, the Logan Paul thing. I'm not a Logan Paul guy. I'm not really. I don't even. And y'all are gonna hate me for this, but I'm not a big Rey Mysterio guy either. So that match.
Well, he's not very big either, but that's for different reasons.
I mean, but that was for me.
Wes,
I'm talking.
Wes, I'm talking vertical, man. I'm talking vertical. I'm not talking stardom. I'm talking his height. Come on now.
I get where you're going there, but really, MC, you're not a Rey Mysterio fan?
I'm not a big Rey Mysterio guy.
Booyaka.
I don't know what it is, but I can take him or leave him. It's not, I guess I got burned on him. One of those times where it was rumored to be somebody else that was going to, come in and be the number 30 in the Royal Rumble or the returning mystery man and all this. And it was hyped up as being this guy over here. And you come up in the Rey Mysterio and you're like, ah, it just,
okay, wait,
know, man.
Yeah.
Wes, I got the defining question right here. MC, were you an Eddie Guerrero fan?
Oh, loved Eddie Guerrero.
Okay, now we're good. I didn't want to have to fire you live on air.
No, man, I loved Eddie. Eddie was great. Lie, cheat, and steal, baby.
Man, I was kicking. If you said
if he'd have said no, I'd have fired him on the spot. If he'd have said no, I'd have fired him on the spot.
I would have been expecting a chair shot if I'd have said no.
No, talking about that Stone Cold match, MC, you're talking about the bumps and everything. The bump he took on the concrete,
yes,
scared the bejesus out of me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I thought when he hit that concrete, it was game over.
Yeah, I did too.
By the way, breaking news. And we were going to get to this later in the show, but All Elite AEW Dynamite, Wednesday Night Dynamite, is currently on TV, and Samoa Joe has debuted on Dynamite.
Yeah.
And MC is going to get into that later as to what led to AEW picking up Samoa Joe. But Wes, your thoughts on WrestleMania Night 1?
Man, Saturday night, out of the two nights, of course, Sunday you got to get up and go to work for Monday. So that does make it a different style of watching. But Saturday night, of course, everybody's going to talk about, of course, Cody Rhodes coming over from, as we were just talking about, All Elite Wrestling. I put an article out on 4star.live, great website, on the impact of what that means.
It's all right.
Could potentially mean for the professional wrestling as a whole. I mean, really, Zach, when you look at Cody coming over, if you go back and look at where all Cody Rhodes wrestled just 365 days, it'll blow your mind. It really will. That was huge. Cody coming over, but not only Cody coming over, but Cody coming over and winning clean over a guy like Seth Rollins that they had pushed the hell out of down our throats of who's he going to wrestle at WrestleMania. You would think he would have won it the way he was shoved down our throats, but Cody winning clean, that's big. There was no way they were going to let Cody lose that match.
No, but I didn't expect him to win clean. I expected there to be some kind of interference or the dusty finish, as they call it.
I thought Ted DiBiase was going to come out.
That would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
And then, by the way, I just want to
uh,
tell everybody, you guys were wrong about one match.
Which one?
RK Bro.
Oh.
Y'all were all wrong. All wrong. Nah, just eat your crow, slap some ketchup on it. I was the only one that said they're not breaking that tag team up.
Man, all you gotta do is throw some Tony Satcheries on there and I'll eat it. Man, that
good
match
stuff, though.
was an incredible
Shameless
match.
plug.
Yes, it is. It was an incredible match to start WrestleMania. I thought that was the perfect match to get the crowd into it, not only there, but at home, to bring in a legend like Randy. By the way, if you haven't watched the WWE Evil on Randy Orton, you are missing out. It is
that whole series, Wes. That whole series was great. I'm on the Ric Flair episode right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, I fell asleep last night on the Randy Orton episode and woke up and it was on the I woke up this morning and it was on the Roman Reigns episode. I don't know how many I missed.
3.
But
you just missed 3.
Okay. All right. I agree with MC. The stinker was the Logan Paul match. I don't want to sound like an old man when I say this, but I'm tired of the celebrity. I get it. It's WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. Bring them out like Cyndi Lauper back in the day. Her ass didn't wrestle.
Liberace.
She didn't hit a freaking Hurricanrana. I mean, why do we have to keep bringing Bad Bunny and his crazy?
Oh, I hate that.
You've got wrestlers in the back that have wrestled 500 straight freaking days. Let them have their time at WrestleMania. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to go on a rant.
That's my issue with it.
That is my biggest issue too. You know,
I'm a big Finn Balor guy, and for Finn Balor to not have a spot on WrestleMania as the U.S. champ, that hits me.
What happened to those two titles? The Intercontinental title and the U.S. title are just
they're afterthoughts.
They're not defended. They're not talked about. Okay? But you want to put so much pressure on the Universal title, the WWE title, which is now the WWE Universal, whatever they want to call it now. Mm-hmm. Roman Reigns holding it for 500 plus days, almost 600 days now. Okay? I'm going to play devil's advocate for a minute, you guys. Y'all say you don't like the celebrity aspect of it, where you're bringing in a Bad Bunny, where you're bringing in a Logan Paul, when you're bringing in, and I'm going to throw it back, when you're bringing in a Floyd Mayweather, a Mike Tyson, okay, a Liberace, Cyndi Lauper, Mr. T, the list goes on. But what about, and we'll jump into this in I think night 2 in just a few minutes, but the Johnny Knoxville Sami Zayn fight. As entertaining as that
was different though. To me,
how is it different?
I say it's different because
I'm back.
You use them in a gimmick way, a gimmick match. Mm-hmm. That match was a gimmick match. JR hates them, by the way. That was a gimmick match, and you used freaking Wee Man body slam.
That was great. That was great.
I mean, I know, but that's my point.
Or when Sammy gets out of the ring and he hit that button and that big hand just come pow.
Yeah, y'all know what that big hand was, right?
I was glad to see Mae Young and Mark Henry's kid finally get his WrestleMania moment. By the way, I popped for that. I popped completely. I gave him a standing ovation. I may be the only person in America that did it, but props to that young man. You got to give him a hand, Zach. You really do.
Yeah.
But, man, I tell you.
He's waited for his one shining moment.
That's my point, Zach, right there. You bring celebrities in for a gimmick match, and it works. You put celebrities in a wrestling match, and it does not work, in my opinion. Now, Bad Bunny impressed me last year, whereas Logan Paul did not. I tell you who did impress me, and we're going to talk about it next, tomorrow or for Sunday night. Pat McAfee. That man impressed me.
Can I
Don't
say
jump-
something?
Don't jump ahead. No, you can't say something. Yeah, what's up?
The Johnny Knoxville.
It doesn't matter. No, I'm
match.
just kidding. Do what? Say it again.
The Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn match was the most entertaining match I've watched in years. MC didn't like it. I saw him give it a thumbs down. MC, your opinion doesn't matter. That match was incredible. When my mom, who doesn't watch wrestling like often, she watches it every now and then if it's on the TV. When my mom is yelling, "Are you watching this?" You know it's got to be something special. And Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn put on one hell of a match. But also, guys, and I'm sure we'll get into the Kevin Owens stuff, we have to give credit to guys like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. The way that they've adapted to the people that they've had to work with over the last 2.5 years after their big pushes is incredible. And they're two of the best workers in the business. They're both incredible heels. Sami Zayn knew exactly what he needed to do in that match with Johnny Knoxville. Credit to Johnny Knoxville. Dude, he took he went through a table.
With mousetraps.
No, that was Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn went through that table.
Oh yeah.
Are you sure you watched WrestleMania, Zach?
Sorry, my audio cut out for a minute.
He went through the one standing in the corner and actually got colored
the
the hard
words
way
out
off
of my
it,
mouth.
too.
Yeah.
My only problem with that match was that you had it in place of the U.S. heavyweight title or the Intercontinental title. If you have those two on the card and then you have the Johnny Knoxville match elsewhere, I don't have a problem with it. The problem is that you took two guys that have worked their tail off all year long, worked out of 365 days, they've probably worked 300 or more of them, and then you can't give them, I mean, crap, if you don't have anything else, have them face each other. Just give them something. That was my only problem with it. I liked I was entertained by the Johnny Knoxville match, and it was definitely way above the Mysterio, Logan, Miz, whatever that was.
I don't know, man. Logan Paul put on.
I'm just not a Logan Paul guy. I'm just not. I don't know what it is about him, but he just he just doesn't do it for me.
I can't stand Logan Paul.
I mean, dude come to the ring wearing a Pokemon card. I mean, come on.
The highest selling sports trading card, or not sports trading card, but trading card of all time at $5.4 million.
Whoop-de frickin'
He
do.
had $5.4 million walking around his neck.
Whoop-de freaking do.
I love Logan Paul.
I
like
don't
Jake
know. I
Paul,
mean,
too. I'm sorry.
I agree
like
with
the Paul
MC,
brothers.
especially at
That's
WrestleMania. You've got.
Yeah.
Why would you not have? The only time they freaking defended is when they have to at Night of Champions.
Mm-hmm. Well, and there was a time where the
even then
was the number one contender.
Yeah, and even Wes, even then, it's a squash match.
Those titles haven't meant anything in years.
Agreed. They have not. Yeah, they've put so much focus
But
on
why?
the
Intercontinental used to be World Heavyweight Intercontinental. Like if you were U.S. champion at one point in time, you were going to move up. I mean, it's
part of it's because you don't have. I'm not saying you don't have the talent. You don't have the guys that could get over with the title belt right now in this company.
No, I agree. 100%.
Finn Balor, you can get over with. But for some weird reason, Vince doesn't like the Demon. So, I mean, he'd sell a ton of merch. But then you have, like, Ricochet. Ricochet was cool, but he's like the Black Evan Bourne. I mean, y'all remember that guy?
Yes,
I
I
can't
do.
believe you just did that. Oh my god!
I'm being honest. Like, they're comparable.
I've heard that name in years.
I've not thought about that, but that's actually not a bad comparison.
And with that, we're going to go to our first break because I'm going to need to recover from that one. You're watching the Falls Count Anywhere show from the Sidecar Cafe Arena. Back in a minute on the 4-Star Sports Radio Network. Hey fans, did you know that 4-Star Sports Media now has a YouTube channel? You can catch exclusive content covering all things Memphis Tigers and the Arkansas Razorbacks. Shows like The Point, and the only show on social media about the Arkansas Razorbacks that is purely fan-driven, Inside the Hog Pen. Plus other shows like The Hog Trough, the 4-Star Sports Show, and many more coming soon. So check them out today. Go on YouTube.com and search 4-Star Sports Media. All right, welcome back to the Falls Count Anywhere show here at ringside on the 4-Star Sports Radio Network from the Sidecar Cafe Arena. I'm Zach ZK Kerr alongside Marcus MC Carlton, Brandon Bumgarner, and the weirdo of the bunch over here, Wes Pruitt. All right, guys, so we talked about night one. Let's move into night two. And how do you guys, I want to start out by asking, how do you guys like this 2-night format of WrestleMania?
I like it. I think it's different. You know, the one night of sitting there for 7 hours, if you do the pre-show and everything with it, man, it's too much.
8, yeah.
I mean, I can't do it. I can split up and I can step in and out on the 2 nights and get the gist of everything. And I think it's better. The only thing I didn't like about it, and this is just because I'm a college hoops junkie, is I didn't like going head to head with the Final Four. But, you know, there's always going to be something you got to go head to head with.
Yeah.
So that's why we have multiple devices that we can, split our attention and watch multiple things at the same time.
Yeah, you should have seen it during March Madness. Holy cow, I had every device I could put my hands on a basketball game.
Yep.
One last note on night one before I forget. The other stinker of the night, if you want to call it that, was surprise, surprise, Charlotte Flair had another wardrobe malfunction where her nipples flew out. She's going for the record of most wardrobe malfunctions since the Bella Twins.
Is it a rib at this point? I mean, is it one of those things of like, let's see how we can sneak this in here?
It's like she's not irrelevant enough. Let's try to make her relevant by getting people on Twitter to talk about her because she's got a boob hanging out.
I would definitely say that was the other stinker of the night.
I'll send you the clip.
I missed that. I missed the titty shot. I apologize, guys.
So the way they blocked it by the ring post. When the camera guy saw it, he moved over next to the ring post to hide.
Kudos to that camera guy for saving the day there, because that could have caused a lot of issues.
Yeah, it wasn't just it's a little bit showing. I mean, the whole damn thing was out.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no mystery left on Charlotte now.
This was like Janet Jackson level boobage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow. I guess I'm going to go watch Peacock tonight.
Wow. Okay. Well, then. All right. So, night two. The biggest problem I have with this 2-night format is the fact that you have to up your game.
Yeah, night one was so good that night two had to counter it.
And it failed. In my opinion, it failed.
I wouldn't say it failed. It wasn't as good as night one, but it wasn't terrible. So I was able to live with it. I think night two was a good show. I think night one was a very good show.
Oh, absolutely. So, Bum, since you're back, and I know you're having technical difficulties, what are your thoughts on night two? I mean, what was your stinker of the night, and what was your highlight of the night?
The women's tag team match was definitely my stinker.
You don't like the women's division, do you?
I don't like a 4-way tag match. I'm sorry. I just don't think there's a need for it. I'm glad Sasha got her first win at WrestleMania. I thought her driving out in the Lambo was pretty cool. But yeah, that match as a whole it didn't really set me off. My biggest surprise of the night, and I'm taking it from everybody, was Pat McAfee. That dude.
Absolutely.
That dude is, I mean, Michael Cole even said it. The guy is just one hell of an athlete. But that guy has proven that punters are actual athletes. They don't just kick a football. I mean, he was flipping off the ropes, landing on his feet, just doing all kinds of stuff. And it's not like Austin Theory is a veteran wrestler that's in there helping him do all this stuff. Pat went in there with a kid who's basically a rookie who we didn't know who Austin Theory was 4 months ago. And now he's in there with the guy and he's doing everything that other wrestlers do. And you know where this all started, right? Pat bought a wrestling ring, put it in his office, and just started working out in it. Mm-hmm. He got a job with WWE, and Vince said, "Hey, you want to wrestle at WrestleMania?" And here we are. Also, his entrance was electric. The Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders coming out, and apparently WWE paid Jack White in the White Stripes $2.7 million for Pat to use that as his walkout music. Which, because Pat said he was going to front the money, and Vince said, "Don't worry about it," which is awesome. But that's going to be Pat's walkout music from here on out, apparently.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Nice.
They have the rights to Seven Nation Army to at least play it as a walkout song, which is incredible.
So, staying on that match, the last time commentators had a match, it was terrible. Do y'all remember that?
Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler, baby.
Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler, JR got involved with the barbecue sauce.
Okay, time out. Why is Stone Cold always involved in the commentary matches?
I don't know, but I love it.
Because
but
he was special guest referee.
He was special guest referee. But the highlight of that match, and as great as Pat McAfee was the worst stunner in the world, the worst sell of a stunner in the world. At first, it was Austin.
Immediately after that, Pat had the best sell you'd ever see out of a stunner.
At first, don't steal my thunder there, Bum. At first, it was Austin Theory overselling it like The Rock did years ago. And then all of a sudden, Vince McMahon just, I don't know if it was mistimed. There is no explanation in the world that could save that worst sell of a stunner in the world. And then, of course, like Bum said, Pat McAfee taking one beautiful sell of a stunner. That's how you're supposed to do it. That was beautiful.
Shout out to Byron Saxton because he sold it really well too.
He did. Yeah. The shot for me in that match was when McAfee was laying outside the ring, allegedly half passed out.
Chugging
He's got
the beer.
Chugging the beer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The greatest part was when he put the headset on and was commentating as he was fighting Theory.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm whooping this guy's ass."
Yeah, that was I was impressed by that. I wasn't sure what to expect out of that one, but Pat won me over with that. Like I said, man, I'm all in for the brand now.
Oh, absolutely.
Bro, if he wanted to quit commentary and just wrestle for a couple months, of course, he's a retired NFL player, so I doubt he's going to want to wrestle full time. But if he wanted to wrestle for a couple months, I'd be more than willing to let him do it because the fans are behind him. He knows how to work a mic. He's awesome. Yeah. He's awesome at promos. And I really think that like he would just hold his own out there with just about anybody.
I can see this feud with Austin Theory going to at least to SummerSlam.
Oh, it's
yeah,
something's going to happen where it goes super long. But also, you don't want to overdo it because you don't want you want that wow factor with Pat when you pull him in the ring, and you don't want him to be that type of guy. But also, there's rumors going around that Corey Graves has been cleared to wrestle. So you could do a Pat McAfee versus Corey Graves SmackDown versus Raw match, which would also be fun.
I can't stand Carmella.
Good. Yeah, she's definitely got that.
Say anything wrong? She is the.
No, she's not.
No,
she's not. You've got Mandy Rose, Liv Morgan, Alexa Bliss. Come on, man.
Liv Morgan, ugh.
Alexa's at the top of that ladder.
Yeah, definitely.
End of discussion. She's at the top of the ladder.
So I'm gonna take.
None of them were NFL cheerleaders.
I'm gonna take a bump. I'm gonna take a major bump, and I'm gonna get so much hell from this, and that's okay. I think the main event of the night was absolutely terrible.
It was only
I was
bad because
disappointed.
Roman hurt his shoulder. You still had 15 minutes to fill.
Yeah.
They cut it short.
Yeah, I was.
But then he comes out on Raw. But then he comes out on Raw and his arm looks fine, and he doesn't do anything.
He was grimacing a little bit. You could see it.
Yeah, when he was raising the titles up like this, you could see him favoring that arm and wincing like he was in pain a little bit.
But he doesn't do anything. It doesn't move the storyline. He says, check out. It was just an ad for SmackDown.
I don't think it was an ad for SmackDown because they kept saying box office, blah, 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 numbers, biggest.
Throwing Easter eggs left and right.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Everything is leading right back to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
But, I mean, outside of that, what else did you have? I mean, you had the New Day match, but why on that one? I mean, this Butch dude doesn't make sense to me, and I don't think I don't understand that one.
I don't know why they changed his name. Why'd they change his name to Butch? It's Pete Dunne. I mean,
I don't know.
What did you guys think on AJ Styles and Edge?
Oh, absolutely great.
Great.
You had, two guys that are veteran. Go ahead, Bum. I'm sorry.
So you're good, man. Those are the two best wrestlers in all of wrestling right now.
Absolutely.
I'm talking promos, in-ring work, how-to work, everything like that. And
once again,
what's inspiring about it is Edge went from not wrestling for 8 years to coming back being this mega baby face that everybody's behind to within the year flipping to an ultra heel. Yeah. And it just shows the range that he has. We know AJ's capable of it because AJ can be, and AJ's kind of in that anti-hero type space that CM Punk was in right now, where he's not a heel. But
you're looking at a career. Yeah, you're looking at a career renaissance of Edge again.
Yeah.
And then you throw
how old? 45, 46?
No, he's 40. He's 50. Almost.
Yeah, he's
50.
pushing 50.
He's like 48, 49. But to add Damian Priest into the stable with Edge, the most brilliant thing you could have done. Because now you're opening the door for more creativeness for the Damian Priest character, which, don't get me wrong, I was a fan of Damian Priest.
It helps build him up.
It does. Yeah. It does. Now I don't want to talk about Raw, but I want to talk about Raw.
That's fine.
But before we do that, what do you guys think of this opinion of mine where it was basically closure for Stone Cold, The Undertaker, and Triple H. Triple H, of course, coming out one final time, taking the walk, and doing the symbolic leaving of the boots in the middle of the ring, symbolizing that his in-ring career is officially over. And I think this WrestleMania was just for that, was to close the chapter on the end of an era.
I don't think you're done with Stone Cold. I think Stone Cold comes back around. Also, Taker saying "Never say never."
That was beautiful in his mat. He put the hat and the jacket on, turns around, and in the Undertaker's voice, "Never say never."
The rumors floating around is he's gonna have one more match. I assume it's gonna be in Saudi Arabia because they're gonna give WWE some absurd amount of money for him to come wrestle there
and have another failed match. He's not have a good record at Saudi Arabia.
Well, it's because you have him against just terrible opponents in Saudi Arabia. I mean, no offense to Shawn Michaels, that I think the crowd is what made that match terrible. But Goldberg, like, he can only work with so many guys.
It was hard to watch that match.
Yeah, but no, I think you get him in there. Look at what Kevin Owens did with Stone Cold. Get him in there with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens will be able to make it a good match for Taker.
If he does that, and comes out and has a bad match, like he has in the past with DX,
it doesn't hurt his legacy at all. His legacy's already cemented. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Then why does he need another match?
I was going to say, why does he need another match?
Yeah,
because he wants one.
Well, that's fair. If he wants it, then they'll find a place for him. But to me, the way he went out with the cinematic match with AJ Styles was
beautiful.
Perfect. Just
he right on that fight. It was you could not have done better than that.
And I want that to be my last memory.
That match took, I think it was 18 hours to film.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Yep.
Don't doubt it a bit.
And the injury that he sustained there at the beginning when he busted through the glass, that was a legit wound.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's one note from Monday Night Raw.
You'll see AJ running to the bearing.
That was good.
Walking out to the ring.
That was great.
Cut that corner too short.
Yeah.
And it's not like he's 6'8". I mean,
no, I just think he just took that corner too fast.
Yeah.
He went head first and was like, "Oh, damn, I'm bleeding."
And he just basically said, "To hell with it, let's go."
I thought they were and he looked pissed off as he was walking out. So I was like, are they going to cut to like some scene in the back of him getting jumped by Edge or Damian Priest or somebody? That's what I thought originally.
That would have been okay. One note for Monday Night Raw. And I don't know where they're going with this. I don't know if it's a one-off. I don't know. I have no idea. But how about Ezekiel or Elias? It's
Elias's brother.
Yeah, it's Elias's brother.
It's his twin brother.
He looked like Stu. He looked like a jacked up steroids using Stu Pickles from the Rugrats.
He looked like John Cena before John Cena was like John Cena. Came out in those type of tights with those.
John Cena never had that kind of hair though.
No, he didn't. I'm saying like the ring gear.
Oh.
Jacked out of his mind. Comes down with the tight tights and the boots on. The ruthless aggression, John Cena.
Yeah. But all right. So should we throw it to a one more break before we get to AEW?
Yeah, get us a good clean break, and we can go and talk about the A show.
All right.
AEW, Jade Cargill is walking out right now. She has glasses on that say "that bitch."
Interesting. I've got it on here in the here at ringside too. That's interesting. All right. So I'm Zach ZK Kerr. You're watching the Falls Count Anywhere show here at the Sidecar Cafe Arena. Back after this from a word from Sidecar. to the Falls Count Anywhere show here in the Sidecar Cafe Arena. ZK, MC, and the Bomb at the bottom of your screen, joining you here on this Wednesday night. We're not on a Tuesday night. We're on a Wednesday night. So I will be the first to admit I am a WWE guy. I am trying to get into watching AEW. I've heard great things about it. But I mean, after 30-something years of watching,
brother, you're in it now.
For religiously watching WWE for 30 plus years, it's hard to not watch anything else. It's hard to watch anything else and get in it and get and understand it. That's why MC's here to tell us what's going on with AEW.
Yeah, so where Zach is your WWE guy, I lean more towards the AEW side. I was always an old school WCW guy, and so I get WCW vibes from AEW. And I'm not talking about end of the road right before Shane McMahon buys WCW. I'm talking about vintage, heyday, golden era, if you will, of WCW. That's the kind of vibe I get from Tony Khan and AEW. And the biggest thing going with AEW right now was Tony Khan purchasing Ring of Honor and setting up another Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor, which took place this past weekend. The feature match on that, and if you've not been able to find this match, go search YouTube, go Google, DuckDuckGo, whatever search engine you use, go find this match of FTR and the Briscoes, because this is one of the best tag team matches I have ever watched in any promotion across the board. This had been hyped up for a few weeks. There had been a little bit of Twitter back and forth between FTR and them boys, as they like to call themselves, the Briscoes. And the promos they put out on Twitter were great. They had really dug into each other a little bit. And man, they certainly delivered in this main event match. FTR comes out with the win and adds the ROH tag titles to their repertoire, as well as they still hold the AAA, which is the Luchadors down in Mexico. They still hold the AAA tag team titles as well. And, to me, FTR's right there is one of the best tag teams in the business. They're right there with the Bucks, to me, in my opinion. I've been a big FTR fan since they were formerly the Revival in NXT, and then when they went up to the main roster, it just didn't work for whatever reason. They became comedic relief, but they tried to make the best of it. But I think they've really found their niche and their calling for just traditional tag team wrestling. I mean, the guys come out to the old Midnight Express music. That tells you their mindset of tag team wrestling and how important it is to them. But that was by far the biggest match of the Ring of Honor, the newly reformed AEW version of Ring of Honor, Briscoes and FTR. The other big thing on the night was the debut of Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe had been released by WWE. What's that been, guys? Probably 6 months ago, maybe 6 months. It seems like it was towards the end of 2021 when that happened. So, to see Joe come back and get back in the ring, it was great to see him, because I felt like he was kind of misused in WWE as a commentator. He was fighting some injuries, and Joe's getting a little older. He doesn't heal up quite as well as he once did, but Joe showed at Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, and then again making his in-ring debut on AEW tonight, that he's still got it. He can still go. But there were other things that went on. Colt Cabana had a good match early in the card. You had, if you're not a diehard former Ring of Honor fan, you may not recognize some of the names, so I'm not going to go over the entire card. But, Jay Lethal had a good match, and it was right after the Jay Lethal match where Samoa Joe came out. And if you've watched any Ring of Honor at all, there's a lot of history there between those two. Jay Lethal he became Mr. Ring of Honor at one point. And then before Joe left to go to TNA Impact and make the rounds that he made, Joe and CM Punk had some just absolute classic matches in Ring of Honor. And then Joe had a good feud with Jay Lethal as well. So that was, that happened this past weekend. I believe that was Friday night. Tully Blanchard resurfaced. He was recently fired by FTR as their manager. He shows up on Ring of Honor Supercard with Brian Cage, and Tully's forming like a new stable of sorts, centered around Brian Cage, going to be in Ring of Honor. So I'm kind of interested to see where they go on that, because Brian Cage was one that had kind of fallen through the cracks a little bit since he dropped the FTW title in AEW. So I'm kind of glad to see him. I think he has a lot of potential. He could be a big star as well. He couldn't find his niche in AEW for whatever reason. But now here in Ring of Honor, he gets kind of a fresh start. And then you know this is going to happen. You know there are going to be Ring of Honor guys that cross over and just randomly show up on AEW. And I think that's going to be part of the beauty of it, because it's going to keep it from being too predictable.
Yeah, I agree with that, MC. So, I think they're going to use Ring of Honor the way WWE should be using NXT, where guys just make a surprise appearance. Now, they're using WWE in their defense. They're using Braun Breaker, and they just called up Tommaso Ciampa, like guys like that from NXT. But why does it got to be considered the minor leagues of wrestling when everybody on both rosters are capable of being on, I guess you would say, the main roster? And I think, and I really hope that Tony Khan really takes ROH and it seems like he's going to, and lets those guys come on regular TV. I mean, you got 2 live shows every week. You got Rampage, you got Dynamite. You can fill those time slots with them, and then you also have AEW Dark on Mondays,
right? On YouTube. Yeah.
So if you get some of the younger guys that are in Ring of Honor on AEW Dark, that gets you introduced to the main card fan base. Then you bring them on Dynamite, and that gets you introduced to that. And you go from there, and that's the beautiful thing about this whole purchase of Ring of Honor. I really think Tony and company over there at AEW are going to be able to turn Ring of Honor, a lot of these guys, into household names. Hell, maybe they even turn Ring of Honor into their SmackDown compared to Dynamite being their Raw. You know, who knows?
Yeah. And one point I didn't bring up about the purchase of Ring of Honor, just the fact of getting the Ring of Honor video library alone is worth, probably the full asking price of whatever Tony Khan paid for it, because, you still hear talk here and there about AEW trying to create basically their own version of what WWE Network was before Peacock took it. And there's been some talks with HBO Max and Time Warner and some other places as well about AEW developing their own network, very similar to what WWE Network does. So if they can bring in the classic Ring of Honor matches and those matches like with Samoa Joe and AJ Styles and Tyler Black, who's now known as Seth Rollins, to get that library in there and have that available for people who haven't seen it, that would really jumpstart that network on top of having all the AEW stuff.
Absolutely.
So if you've not seen any of the old Seth Rollins before he was Seth Rollins, when he was Tyler Black in Ring of Honor, go get on YouTube and find it, because it was great stuff. Kevin Steen, now known as Kevin Owens, he went through Ring of Honor. I mean, there was a period in time. CM Punk was there, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Adam Cole, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks. I mean, they had quite the run there for about a 10, maybe 12-year span, where when some guys would leave, other guys would come in and they wouldn't miss a beat.
See, I wouldn't have been able to keep up with all of that.
You'll get there.
But programming note, WWE SmackDown coming to Central Arkansas on May 27th, 6:45. Shows start. Doors open at 5, I do believe.
Mm-hmm.
So I will be in attendance there, and hopefully, I will have my WWE title belt, and I will put it on the line. Not really, because I'm not giving up a $300 belt.
Are you that type of person?
You about to make me cuss live on air. No, I'm not.
Hey, you know what we could do though?
So funny story, guys. I saw a meme the other day, and it was, "Hey man, are you going to put the title on the line?" And it was like, and it said, "These type of people at live wrestling events."
Yes, I saw
and
that.
it was just like the biggest, just greasiest looking dude you've ever seen in your life that asks that, which is hilarious to me. And
so it was you.
Unfortunately, I'm not greasy. I'm just big. Unfortunately, so people don't realize, people that don't watch wrestling don't realize that's not what the fan base is. The fan base is a mix of all kinds of people now. And that you got to give it up to WWE and AEW for being able to create fans of all ages and all ethnicities and everything. I mean, hell, WWE, I think Stephanie said that they were broadcasting in 47 different countries for WrestleMania the other night.
That's amazing.
She says the most of all time, which is crazy. And then
they set an all-time attendance record for the combined 2 nights at over 150,000.
Yeah, it's. I mean, and a lot of those people that were there night 1 were there night 2 as well. But it's crazy. Really exciting times, man. So another programming note: May 5th and May 6th, I will be at Sidecar Cafe for Micro Wrestling. Come out and hang out with your boy Bum. We got some stuff in the works over here at 4-Star. Maybe a couple of these other guys will be joining me over there for it. But I will definitely be out there, be doing interviews, all kinds of stuff. And we might have a commentary booth out there for Micro Wrestling. So I'm really excited about it, guys. I went back when they had it in October at Sidecar over there on Witten Road. It had no business being as good as it was, and I felt like I was just watching some of those not backyard wrestling, but some of those like local wrestling shows that are just cringe and you cannot watch. That was the complete opposite. It was some of the most entertaining I've ever seen. And
well, I can tell you. So Bum is now. We already know, but is this just going to be at the one in Memphis? Because don't they have one opening in South Haven, Mississippi, as well?
They have one opening in South Haven, Mississippi, and that show will be going on Friday, May 6th. So go to Sidecar, get your tickets now. I'm sure it will sell out. It was very close to a sellout last time that they had it. It was awesome. Had a great time. We'll be out there. We're gonna have a great time. I mean, look, if you celebrate Cinco de Mayo, I'm sure Sidecar is gonna have Cinco de Mayo specials out there on beer, margaritas. Might even have some tacos out there. It'll be a great time. I'm gonna wear a sombrero on Cinco de Mayo, so
I might have to go to Memphis for that one, MC.
A sombrero and a poncho. They're going to call me Beefy. I'm going to wrestle, and they're going to call me Beefy 5-layer burrito.
That's a mental image I didn't want.
It's going to be awesome, man. Could you imagine me just walking out in leggings and a poncho with the sombrero on and calling me Beefy 5-layer?
Wait. Who was the WWE comedic relief back in the early 2000s that used to pop out of a cake all the time, wearing a diaper and would squirt himself with oil? Who was that?
I remember that, but I can't remember the
Why
name.
do I have a mental image of Bum doing that only in a sombrero and a poncho?
Like Gilbert.
Yeah, you know
Gilbert. You get the sparklers. You get the sparklers out there with me, and then you spray me with the fire hydrant. That's more me.
But when Bum said he was going to come out in a sombrero and a poncho, the first thing that came to my mind was when Brock Lesnar came out wearing the big sombrero hat and had like the little pullover. That's what came to mind for me. So,
well, I can tell you right now, Bum, I will be there with you. It's a South Haven, Mississippi show on May 6th. So I will be there live at Sidecar in South Haven as well. Hopefully MC can make it out once or twice. We're hoping. We're not going to make any promises, but he will definitely try to join via StreamYard if he cannot be live in attendance.
Well, if he can't, I know that Rick Haygood will absolutely love to help us do our broadcast. Also, Jeff Hardy, no surprise here, just jumped off the top of a ladder and put a dude through a table.
You're about
that guy.
You're about 4.5 seconds ahead of me. He just went through that table.
He just did a swanton through a table.
Yeah.
That guy. You want to talk about just putting your body through absolute hell? How does this guy continue to do? I mean, the prescription drugs probably helped for a long time. Now he's feeling the repercussions of everything. But that guy is awesome.
So I forgot to mention when we did our Monday Night Raw recap, it just dawned on me. What did you guys think of finally, after 5 months of Veer showing up and just demolishing the Mysterios?
He put a tweet out, I think it was yesterday, and it was a picture of him with the fan. And it said, "I do this all for my fans." And I was like, what have you done besides show up for one Monday Night Raw? I mean, like, yeah, I'm glad you took a picture with a kid. Like, you made that kid's day.
He's got like one fan, and he's been talked about for 5 months.
Also, you've been talked about for half of a year. And
I'm going to make a very inappropriate joke. So if you're easily offended, turn us off right now. Where was this guy coming from, and did he get hung up in like customs or something on his plane ride in?
They've been doing his vignettes so long that the kid he took the picture with wasn't even born yet when they first started doing his vignettes. I'm going to withhold judgment. I'm going to give him a fair shot, but to be continued. I'll leave my comments on Veer at to be continued.
Yeah, Veer. I feel like, and I really hope we don't, but I feel like we're about to get a Lord Tensai type deal.
Oh man,
because they built Tensai up so hard.
Well, they built
old A-Train, poor guy. And then they paired him with the dancing dinosaur Brodus Clay himself.
The Funkasaurus.
Yeah.
Somebody call my mama.
Somebody. Hey, now I'm not gonna lie. That's a catchy tune right there.
Oh, that's an earworm for sure, man. It would get in your head and stay there.
Oh yeah. But yeah, WrestleMania is in the books. The next pay-per-view is WrestleMania Backlash. Basically, it's a mini version of WrestleMania. It's all the rematches again. Might have a couple sprinkled in that new feuds and whatnot. But what in the world is this dude wearing?
That's Luchasaurus, bro.
That's Luchasaurus, man.
Bro, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus are one of the best tag teams on earth.
Yeah.
I want his mask.
My dream match right now between tag teams would be RK Bro versus the Jurassic Express.
By the way, guys, you were talking about WWE Evil. I know we're jumping all over the place, but that's how we do it here at Falls Count Anywhere. It's my ADHD. Sorry about that. You were talking about the Randy Orton. We were talking about the Randy Orton episode of WWE Evil. They interview Matt Riddle in that episode. And I don't know if he was staying in character or if that's how he really talks, but he sounds higher as a kite. And he's like, Randy just like, he's great, man. That is the coolest thing ever. I hope they don't break those guys up. I really don't. But do we have anything else before we get out of here tonight?
You got FTR and Briscoes tonight on the end of Dynamite. Going to be a rematch for the main event of Dynamite tonight. So I'm.
Is it for the belt?
I believe so. I mean, they're hyping it up as the rematch from the ROH Supercard. So I'm definitely going to check that out here when we wrap things up. Like I said, I'm a big FTR mark, so I'm not going to miss them.
Yeah, WWE. I don't understand how they didn't use them correctly. They are an incredible team.
They were fine. They were fine in NXT. They had,
Yeah.
the battles they had with DIY and a couple of the other tag teams were just phenomenal. They were just great.
Okay. Side note: I've been watching, and we're gonna kind of bounce back right here to WWE. I've been watching all kinds of interviews with Cody Rhodes. And I think I hopped off when y'all started talking about Cody, but I've been watching all kinds of interviews and everything with Cody. He seems to think that there's going to be a bunch of people jump from AEW to WWE now and follow where he's going. I think there could be. Because I feel like WWE is willing to pay those people now. But who are some of those names that y'all might be thinking about that could make that jump?
MJF.
Yeah, but he's under contract till 2024, so he's not going anywhere for 2 years.
No, but
he's already talking about it. He's already talking about the bidding war that's going to happen when his contract.
Tony Khan's going to pay out the ass for him.
I don't think you're going to see any of the original guys that were in WWE like Sting go back.
No.
I think you see Chris Jericho go back at some point.
Nope. I don't think that's going to happen because he's not mentioned much on WWE programming anymore. I mean,
yeah, but they also let him do a Broken Skull session like while he was signed with AEW.
True.
That's WWE is his home. And yes, he's been all around the world, but he made a name for himself in WCW, but showing up as Y2J in WWE, that's what made his career what it is. I think Jericho goes back at some point whenever his contract's up. And I also think they go back. I think Christian goes back, and he might even try to pull Jurassic Express with him.
Here's a name that I don't think is going to be on anybody's radar, but I think if WWE had a chance to get this performer, they would jump at it. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. I could see her coming in and
hold the hell up. Vicky Guerrero is AEW?
Yeah, she's a manager.
Does she still do the excuse me?
Still does it.
Oh my God. No, last thing, and like I said, as much as I would love to see him back, it's never gonna happen because of the way things went down. It's never gonna happen because he is so much happier now. But you're not gonna see, and I'm talking to all the other people out there, not the three of us.
In the words of The Undertaker, never say never.
Well, I can definitively say never. This is never going to happen. You're not going to. I do. You're not going to see.
I don't think it'll never happen. Money talks, brother. And also, before they cut all the stuff with Fox, he was on the show covering WWE.
But he wasn't
right before he signed with AEW.
He was not.
The pandemic started.
He was not a WWE employee. He was employed by Fox.
He was talking about their product.
By the way, for those that have been living under a rock, we're talking about Phil Brooks.
Well, I'll say this about him, and if that were to happen, I don't know that it would be. I think there would have to be a changing of the guard. I think Vince would have to be completely out of the picture, which means he's going to have to be dead because Vince is never going to give up the big chair until he passes away.
No.
Now, that being said, if we learned anything, and Bum touched on this in the words of The Undertaker, whoever thought Hulk Hogan would go back after the way things went down with the whole steroid trial, him jumping down to WCW, revitalizing his career. I mean, and there was a lot of bitterness there between Hulk and Vince for a lot of years. I mean, they even put it into a storyline after he come back with the whole Mr. America thing, which was beautiful. And then also the Hulk Hogan Vince McMahon match that they had.
I mean, even
by the way, very, very underrated match for both
Yes.
of those guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
The age they were when that happened.
Absolutely.
Great match.
Well, and I mean, even Ultimate Warrior came back. I mean, you've got big names that have come back, but I just the way CM Punk left the company and the way that all fell apart, I just don't see it. But
I don't see it, but I won't say never. But with the way CM Punk is and the way he conducts himself and conducts his business, I think that's a middle finger forever to WWE.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Also, another good example, Alundra Blaze. Never thought you'd see her. She threw the damn title in the trash.
In the
on
trash
ITV.
can on Night
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
like
the Click.
I
Click.
think
Click,
at some
NWO.
point- At some point, CM Punk will make a return to WWE. It's not in the near future by any means because he's going to be at AEW for a long, long time. But I do think he will go back at least as a Hall of Famer at some point, maybe at the very tail end of his career.
See, will Vince and WWE let him in the Hall of Fame?
I think they will. I think they have to. His run in WWE is one of the greatest runs in all of wrestling history.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had literally one guy carrying the company for so long in John Cena, and then CM Punk was like, all right, I have to step it up. Stepped it up, became this absurd superstar.
Well, his first WrestleMania was riding on the car for John Cena's entrance, for crying out loud.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't see a spot, and it might be 20 years from now, but I don't see a spot where he is not back in WWE at some capacity. I mean, 96-year-old Vince McMahon will still be there.
And still taking bad stunners.
Hey, did y'all see the video of him squatting 1,000 pounds?
I don't want to talk about that.
I'm 26 years old. I couldn't even squat 100 pounds right now. That guy's squatting 1,000, and he's 50 years older than me.
I'm 35 years old, and it's a struggle.
He's also taking enough steroids to kill a horse, too.
Right?
So there's that.
You know, to each their own. But, but steroids are not at 76. I mean,
it's still impressive. Yeah,
steroids
absolutely.
Are supposed to kill your bones.
Among other things.
Killing Vince. It's just making him stronger.
It's weird, dude. All right, so we're going to wrap it up and call it a night. The final bell has rung, and we're going to move on. It has been a great show, as always, guys, and I appreciate all the fans watching. And, man, I tell you, our next live show, Bum, do you guys have a show between now and Friday, or you guys over at the point?
I believe Wes and I are going to go on tomorrow for a little bit. We will keep y'all updated on that. Actually, no, we won't. I'll be covering the Memphis Redbirds game.
All right. Well, I can go ahead, buddy.
But I'll also all day on social media for those of you that follow golf. I will be following the Masters. I'll follow Tiger Woods all day tomorrow for his tee times. I'll be covering opening day for MLB tomorrow. So there is a lot of stuff going on that will be going on our Twitter. If you're not already following us, please follow us at 4-Star Sports M on Twitter. Also follow us on Facebook, as you're probably watching this on Facebook right now at 4-Star Sports Media. Along all other platforms, 4star.live. Read our articles. If you like what you see, subscribe to us on Apple, Spotify, everything that we're on, YouTube. We're trying to pump out some great content for all of you guys right now. We really appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate you, Zach, and UMC, even though I don't seem like it sometimes. That's just the heel in me. It's not me just trying to sound like a total ass. But
it wouldn't be fun if we all agreed. It wouldn't be fun if we all agreed all the time.
There it is. He did it. He got it in. He got it. Look.
But, you know, I do appreciate every single person who's listening to this. Without you guys, none of this would be possible. We're growing as a company. We're growing as a brand. We're very excited for what's in store in our future. And for our wrestling fans, we promise you this AEW partnership that we're going to have covering them is going to be special. You're going to enjoy what you're reading from all of us. You're going to enjoy what you're seeing. You're going to get exclusive looks from AEW that other companies won't be able to bring you because we're getting it straight from the source itself. So, once again, we appreciate you guys, and that's all I have.
Well, MC, you and I are going to be live once again on Inside the Hog Pen Friday night, 7 p.m. I take my chair back. I let the Minions play last week. Now the big boss got to return. Got to get the house in order. But 7 p.m. Friday night from Inside the Hog Pen, all things Arkansas Razorback. We want to thank everybody for watching. For MC, for Bum, I'm ZK from the Sidecar Cafe Arena. Until next time, good night, everybody.